Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video, we're making another octagonal shaped box. If you saw the last video, you'll know we made this taller version. This one is 6 inches across and it is 2 inches tall. The process is very similar to the previous box if you've watched that one. This one has a flap up and down lid, and the lid is slightly larger than the box itself so that it can sit on the top. I've chosen not to put a closure onto this, but you could put something, for instance, like some ribbon which comes down from this section and then ties on the front if you so wished. As per the previous box, it's not too tricky to put together, so let's get started. For the base, you'll need a piece which is 6 inches by 4 inches, and along each side you're going to mark from the corner at 3/4 of an inch. So it will be 3/4, 5 1/4. On the short side, 3/4, 3 1/4. So 3/4, 5 1/4 on the long side, and 3/4 and 3 1/4 on the short side. And then using your trimmer, your craft knife and ruler, or your scissors, you're going to cut diagonally between these 2 points here to cut the corners away. So I'm going to just go in with my scissors and just cut across like so. So that is the base element. And then for the sides, you'll need 2 pieces. These are 2.5 inches times 9 3/4 inches. Along the long side, score at 4 1/2, 5 5/8, 8 1/8, and 9 1/4. And on the short side, score at 1/2 inch. So we'll start with the 2 long side pieces and just fold and burnish along all of the score lines. So take your scissors. I've got the 1/2 inch tab over on the right hand side, so I'm going to remove this bottom right hand corner like so, and take a wedge from this glue tab. Rotate the piece. We're going to cut up each of the 1/2 inch score lines up to the 1/2 inch horizontal. So this is creating the glue tabs with which we're going to adhere the sides to the base, and then take a wedge from each of these glue tabs. And then we're going to join these 2 strips together to make one long strip. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, you might prefer to complete the circuit of the side, so glue both tabs together and then form the shape of the exterior of the box and add your base into place. You might prefer to add your glue tabs onto the base and then secure the final tab, which is the process that I followed in the last video. So this process will do the other way, just so if you have watched the last video, you can see both. If you've made similar boxes of this style, then you've possibly got your own way of construction, and there is no right or wrong method, it's just what works for you. So we can join that piece together. To be honest, I don't have a preferred way. I just go with whatever the mood takes me on a particular day. So this is the base of the box. So now I'm going to add glue onto the base glue tabs and secure my base onto the top. I'm going to use my construction glue, roughly lay the base into place, and then flip it over and manipulate the sides into the shape that they need to be. So that's the base in place. We're now going to make the lid, and for this you'll need a piece which is 6 1/2 times 4 1/4. And along the top edge, I'm just going to mark a B. That's the back edge of the box. So this is where the hinge will be. I'm going to line my ruler up along the top edge and make a pencil mark at 1/16 of an inch over 3/4 of an inch from the corner, like so. And then I'm going to do the same on this right hand side, 3/4 of an inch plus a 1/16. I'm going to rotate the piece so that those pencil marks are on the left, and do the same in the top and the bottom left hand corners. So 3/4 of an inch plus a 1/16, 3/4 of an inch plus a 1/16. Rotate the piece back so we've got all our pencil marks at the top, and then on the bottom edge I'm going to make a pencil mark from the corner 1/16 of an inch under 1 inch on both the left and the right hand side. Rotate the piece, those pencil marks are on the right, and I'm going to do the same from on the bottom right hand corner, 1/16 under 1 inch, and on the top right hand corner, 1/16 under 1 inch. And then, as we did with the base, I'm going to cut between the pencil lines. The next piece you'll need is the hinge, and this is 4.5 inches long and it's 1 inch wide, scored on the short side at 1/2 inch. So you want to fold and burnish that thoroughly in both directions, and just bring in your box and just make sure that that hinge is going to fit in, because if you need to adjust it at all, now is your time to do it. So that is going to fit in there quite nicely. I'm going to get rid of all of the pencil marks. I'm going to start by adding the hinge onto the lid. So this is the underside of the lid, and you just want to make sure that your hinge is sitting equidistant in the back panel on the back edge of this, so it will be 1/8 plus a 1/16 either side is what you're aiming for. So I'm going to add my glue onto here. So bring my ruler in. If I get one end lined up, and then I'm going to sit my ruler against the back edge of the cardstock, and once I've got it lined up with the left, that's right, I can just make sure that that is lined up with the back edge like so. And now I'm going to add glue onto this section here of the hinge. Sit the hinge in the back edge of the box because we know that the hinge is the right size. So that slots in there nicely, and just make sure that the lid can fold back like so, and then we can just lay that down and just burnish that into place, and the lid folds down nicely over the top of the box. Now if you fold your box over and you think that the shape's not quite right, obviously you can go in from below and trim any of the edges if you so want, but I very much doubt that someone is going to be turning the box upside down and comparing the shape of the lid with the shape of the box underneath. So that fits on there nicely, and the next thing is the decoration. Here's the finished decorated box. You can see I've added some paper flowers, die cut leaves, and a celebrate, which is a stacked die on the top. The pattern paper sizes, for the top I started with the piece which was 6 1/4 times 4, and I've laid that on the top of the lid and then marked where I wanted the angles to come down. For the pattern paper for the sides, you'll need 2 pieces which are 4 1/4 times 1 3/4, 2 pieces which are 2 1/4 times 1 3/4, and 2 pieces which are 7/8 times 1 3/4. And overall I think this is a good size box. As you can see, I'm quite happy with how this one has come out, and as per the last box, I don't think this one would be too tricky to resize if you so wished. So there we have the project for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, thanks for watching.